Hey everybody, Jem Schofield here with the C47 and another episode of Gearbox. So today, first of all, I'm missing a nasty clamp. That's not a good thing. I use them all the time. I have 3 of them. Definitely worth buying them in a 3-pack. But I only have 2 now. So I'm trying to find the other one. I'm hoping it's just hiding in a case or a bag somewhere, because I do pack differently for different jobs, but I will hopefully find it for my shoot tomorrow, where I'll be in the city shooting in 2 different locations. I'll be at Fox News, where my client Peter Kay is going to do a little segment with one of his clients, and then I'm also going to be, I think because it's going to be raining all day, inside some sort of studio space. Always a little funky when it comes to gyms and clubs and stuff like that. You very oftentimes have rooms with lots and lots of mirrors. So we're going to see what that's all about. And we'll see what happens. Okay, so today I wanted to talk to you guys about a little sort of thing here having to do with diffusion. This is not going to be a perfect long segment with a perfect setup, but right now I have the little CL 256 light. It's just a 256 bulb LED from Cool Lights, and let me just show you. It's up on a stand over here, and I'm diffusing that light with a little 12-inch disc here, which you can get from a number of different companies, and it's just being held up with a little clamp. Now, obviously I'm overexposed right now. You can see, first of all, the problem was that when it was over here, sorry about that, I hit the mic, I'm not redoing this thing. Am I redoing it? No, I'm not redoing it because it's Gearbox. So when that's sitting over the light there, you'll see that, depending on where it's positioned, we can sort of see the edge of it. It's not perfect depending on where you want the light to be. And it really speaks to the fact that it's a small piece of diffusion. Now, obviously, if I wasn't pretty close to a wall over here, it wouldn't be a big deal, but I am. So we need to deal with that a different way so that we can at least get something that's a little bit more usable. Now, I'm not saying compositionally this is perfect, but this is really all about diffusion. So let me put these things down. I'll be right back. So this is a road rag, the silk sitting on basically a light stand. I've just got a mini grip head here with that on the frame, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk that in and use that as diffusion instead. It's a much larger diffusion, and I can move it closer, further away, and we'll see what happens with that effect. Okay, so we're obviously now making sure that from a diffusion standpoint that we have a larger area covered, so we're not seeing any edges and things like that from that. Of course, we're cutting the light considerably, but it is more even. Now, if I look over there, we can see my shadow, and that's obviously a problem. So the way we can handle that is we can actually physically move the light and the diffusion. Just looking in the monitor so I can have reference. So I'm going to do that. I'm just going to move it over so it's not sort of straight in front of me, the key. It's going to be a little bit more towards the side, and then we're going to have to deal with that a little bit more because obviously right now we're getting, if that's desired, a more even lighting. So let me just go ahead and move it over to my left a little bit. Okay, so now you can see that if I'm standing in the same position, I've lost basically that shadow. I may need to move it just a little bit more, but I've lost that shadow now. Now, what am I doing? Well, if I kind of want a more dramatic, fill here, then I can leave it the way it is. Or I can just grab a little reflector like this. This one's the little tri-grip that I showed you guys a week or 2 ago. And we can put that up on the stand. This is just a white-silver combination. So we're not really changing the color temperature too much. We're just sort of keeping it, you know, it's pretty cool, this one. And I can just move that around a little bit, and then I can clamp it to a stand, to a grip head or something like that, and just get a little bit more fill. So that's a way to handle that. Now, of course, the background is an entirely different thing. With the background, you know, once we actually have our key and our fill where we want it to be, we may need to go and get a backlight to actually do something with that. I've shown you guys some stuff with the dado lights and gobos, so we can make it look like, you know, Venetian blinds were basically being projected on there as if there was a window. We could just put a splash of color there. We could use a cookie to break up the light, you know, a different way. And we also may want to put a little bit of a, you know, sort of a rim light, so that there's a little bit of separation between the background and the foreground, meaning the talent. So just a couple of things, but really the biggest thing here is get larger pieces of diffusion, and whether it's on something like road rags or you just build a frame, you just need to have something that's a much larger light source, a larger piece of diffusion, because then you can move it further away from the light source, you can move it closer, and by doing those things you're going to get different results, and it's more experimenting more than anything else. And I'll see you guys next time on Gearbox.